I mean, I've been accused a lot of things, most of which is true, but lack of enthusiasm has never been one of them. Lack of enthusiasm. I mean, enthusiasm gets you a long goddamn way. Why do you think they jack up sports teams? Get all for the same reason. I mean, again, I had no idea that nobody had any self-esteem. I didn't realize it was such a rare motherfucking commodity. All groups, including the meatheads on YouTube, have little or no self-esteem, little or no self-confidence, little or no self-worth. But you're fortunate. 98% of the people on the planet are introverts like you. Only 2% are extroverts like me, and only 10% of that 2% are loudmouth alpha males like me. But 98% of all the high-performance people in the world are introverts just like you. Zuckerberg, Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, you're all introverts. And I just named 4 of the most successful people in the last 50 years, right? Most of the kids can't even get a job. But the reason why they can't get a job is because they got none of these. They got no balls. It's really a strange conundrum, as they say. Him, this fucking moron here, he comes in with a presentation and he tells me how he's different. You know how many fucking times I've heard that? Everybody in this room arguably thinks something about him's different. Well, I'm here to tell you nothing about you is different. I'm just telling you. Oh, you wasted your money. You won't. You can't. Your DNA is not wired that way. For all the hours you cocksuckers fill the gym up, why are you all skinny pencil neck fucking geeks? How can you spend 3 hours a day in the gym and look like a fucking pencil neck geek? Because you're pretending to lift weights in the gym just as you're pretending to be fucking successful or wannabes. That's the best fucking metaphor I have. And down deep inside, you know it. Oh, he's not talking about me. Not me, boss, not me. You're bigger than a cunt. Whatever's worse than a cunt. And when I say cunt, I mean coward. Just so everybody gets that straight. When I call you a vagina, you're a bigger coward than a cunt. The more that you stop playing not to lose and you start playing to win, the more ruthless you get. You realize how easy it is. I see speed bumps, you're gonna think it's a Grand Canyon or fucking Mount Everest, you know. And it's just a fucking speed bump. That's an understatement of biblical proportion. If you're gonna run a 7-hour marathon, you ought to kill yourself, metaphorically speaking, of course. And they say they're doing it for the experience. What positive repercussions can a 7-hour marathon possibly have? Unless you weighed 9,000 pounds and you lost 8,400 pounds or 500. Other than that, what possible positive impact can a 7-hour motherfucking marathon have on you? That's a brisk walk. And now, I mean, the kids, it's unbelievable to me that your standards are so fucking low. I know guys that never ran a foot. They can run a 4-hour marathon today, without any practice. You almost die at the end, but you've never pushed yourself. If you have 10 possible answers, and the 10th is the hardest answer for you emotionally, that's the right answer. Life is where you are now. And how's this fucking program worked out for you, Oldtimer? Not worth a shit. Everybody's got an opinion. See, I don't believe everybody has the right to have an opinion. If Allah, Buddha, and Jesus Christ himself came down and touched those poor little fuckers, they're dead meat. I'm not saying they invented fucking guilt, but I've heard the motherfucking story. 6,000 years we roamed the fucking desert. 6,000, I'm so fucking tired of that Jewish story, I want to throw up. And we're surrounded by Arab countries, and we're all by ourselves, and we got to build a fucking wall. So what? The Arabs on the other side say, because I've been partners with them, Dan, there's a reason why the fucking Jews have no oil and gas. Allah's will. There's a fucking reason. Those are all fucking statistics. He says, when it happens to you, it's 100%. And even though the odds are way against you fucking this up, you'll find a way. Because you're so used to engaging in self-sabotaging. Does everybody understand self-sabotaging activities? Recipes for disaster. So your default is failure. Do you get it? And guess what? You fail, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. There is no backup plan. They have none. Now just think through, just real quickly. If everybody that you ever talk to, especially you, lard ass, Asians, it's hard because the family is, and Hispanics, the family is part of your social culture. And that's why you're fucked, because your social culture's fucked. Default is a motherfucker. At least you found out after 20 grand, it ain't for me. Fine. Do us both a fucking favor. Leave now. But don't keep asking stupid fucking questions. I'm not gonna tolerate it. Especially when I know it adds no value. All it does is reinforce the insecurities in the rest of you weak cunts. That's all it does. Because some of you are held in higher regard than others, wrongfully, because you have a bullshit about this or this, and you made a few bucks or you have some employees. They hold you in high regard for the wrong reasons. And then when he says it or she says it, and then you hear him, fuck, that's why I step up and say, fuck, that's bullshit. Everybody understand what that means? You're jerking off your brain. Tacit approval is why you're poor. Does everybody understand what tacit approval is? Well, why have you lived your life under tacit approval? Tacit approval is, this guy's talking shit. You know he's talking shit. You know he's talking shit, but you don't say anything. The worst case is, and you nod your head as if to agree. Now he goes off to tell, Doofus and Rufus agreed with me. And Doofus and Rufus say, well, fuck. Rufus didn't say anything. And then you go off to your different meetings and say, well, fuck, it must be okay. It's even worse when you have somebody of high authority like myself. That's why I step into the breach. Because I don't want to be, you've lived your life with tacit approval. You haven't had the balls to open your mouth when somebody's talking to you. And your excuse will be, I'm going to get fired. Well, you can't get fired now unless you get caught fucking a donkey in the lobby. You cannot get fired in corporate world anymore. It's almost impossible. So don't use that as a fucking excuse why you agree or let the boss talk shit or let the boss bully you. You have no balls. That thing about we fucked it up and he walked, remember, we fucked it up. We have nobody that steps into the breach anymore. If you're going to continue to allow tacit approval to rule your life, you're going to fail at this. And then you're going to go on Reddit and you're going to say, this fucking thing doesn't work. It didn't work for you because you're a cunt. The only way the QLA doesn't work is if your whole body looks like a vagina. That's it. If you can't get rid of tacit approval in your life, you're going to fucking fail at this. Guys, I'm telling you, don't be right. Just do me the favor. Don't go to fucking Reddit and say it doesn't work just because you're a fucking weenie that can't get it in a hole. Be a man for the first time in your life. Belly up to the bars. I fucked up because I'm a cunt. I didn't want it bad enough. Did you hear her talk about sacrifices? Y'all skip, you didn't ask one question about that. I'm quite what, you fucking moron, asses. Who gives a shit? Guys, why do you watch Jacko? Because you got no balls. He's got a new thing now for Monday mornings where he's got a brick wall that he runs into and charges into and breaks it down. Have you seen that? I'm going to do one, Jocko, just like you. 74, I'm going to break a bigger fucking wall down than you broke down. It's like when you get these little they break these boards. I could break the board with my dick in the morning. That's the fucking truth. I still pole vault out of bed at 74. I don't have to take steps to take a pee. I just kept a couple of pole vaults. Whoop, whoop, and I'm there. And you can't even get it up. 74 years old. We ought to put that on. I bet you that'd be viral for sure, wouldn't it? It'd go fucking viral, right? But once she says, your place or mine, Doc, that's it. So I must be at the top of my game. All the rest is bullshit. Don't worry about all that shit. Pavlov was right. The Russian scientist that use shock therapy, etc. Unfortunately, fear works. And love doesn't. Why? Most of you had bicycles, little trainer bikes, One day your mom decided to take the trainer wheels off, or your dad, right? And what happened? You fell over on your big fucking melon head, right? And what happened? Your mom came running over to you, right? My poor baby, and they put the trainer fucking wheels back on. When does he say is the time to treat the dogs and show affection? When? When they do something positive. Your mother treated you good whether you did something positive or not, and that's why you're fucked up. We're pack animals just like the fucking dogs, you fucking creeps. My kids have to make an appointment to talk to me. Does that sound like how you were raised? What expectation bar was set for you, shitbags? Nothing. Because you had shitty role models and your parents fucked you. Because that's how fucked you are. You're no less fucked than the people that fuck you in the ass if you had been fucked in the ass by your brother or your dad. You're no less fucked up. How is that fucking possible? Don't tell me the obvious. So whenever my dad was accused of being too harsh on me, and he was a harsh son of a bitch, there's no question about that, he would say, well, how's your fucking program working out? And then he'd turn to his older brother and say, well, how's your program working out with your crack, heroin addict, whore daughter? And then he'd turn to his sister and say something to the effect that, how is your program working out with your incarcerated, convicted felon son? Now see, you would never say that to your brother and sister if you lived a million fucking years, even if it were true. You would never, ever, ever, because down deep inside you still want your brother and sister to like you and arguably love you. And then the guy's all happy. What a fucking joke that is. You're pregnant, you fat bitch, not me, you. And he starts screaming at her, God damn it, they're repossessing my car. We're 2 months behind on our apartment rent and you gonna have a fucking kid? Well, the kid heard that. I don't even have to ask which one of the fucking parents it was. Only the woman's stupid enough to keep the fucking kid. And if it didn't come out hanging from a fucking cord, they wouldn't keep it either. And that umbilical cord never goes away. Right, moms? It never goes away. Your kids don't add value to you. Anybody in this room that thinks their kids other than make you warm and fuzzy, at Christmas time. Does anybody in here actually think that I'm not going to embarrass you because you're going to say yes and I'm going to jump all over you and rip your fucking head off, so I'm not going to say. And there's a whole other story. All of you got married for the wrong reason. All of you had kids for the wrong reason. Most of you should have rolled down the inside of your fat mama's leg because you produced no good benefit to humankind. Not the least of which a woman says 30,000 words in a day and a man 5,000 to 6,000. That says it all right there. That says fucking motherfucking volumes. Woman can't keep her fucking trap shut. 30,000 words minimum. A guy 5 to 6. A verbose guy 6,000. A quiet introvert guy 4,000 to 5,000. I mean, that explains the whole world. I don't understand. Beyond, that's a bridge too far for me. 90% of what you hear from your family, from your friends, is horse shit. You got sales managers that never sold anything. You got CEOs that got there by fucking their way up the ladder. But you don't say anything. And why don't you say anything? Because you got a mortgage. You want to get your fucking second map. Always got a reason why you show no self-assertiveness. We've got entire cultures that have grown up that way. Not in Russia. Not in Ukraine. Less in Hungary, less in the communistic countries. They're still hard asses. The bad thing about it is, down deep inside, you don't think you can compete with them. But that's wrong. PC, political correct horseshit. The only difference between you and them is their parents programmed them for success, and your parents didn't. So I could give a whole seminar. Why didn't your parents program you for success? Don't they love you? Because they're too fucking stupid. That's why. So we got stupidity after stupidity after stupidity, generation after generation after generation. And look what we got. And as I said yesterday, the two reasons they give, we did the best we could, which is just horseshit. And the next one is, you don't know what you don't know, which is the better answer, actually. Because they don't know. They don't know dick. That's why it's so hard to break the circle of poverty, the blue-collar mentality. But most of you have come out of the blue-collar mentality, i.e., it's hard for you to make the changes. Not impossible, though. You fucking ain't right. Our wives and our husbands, our significant others, talk shit, right? Nobody can be meaner to a husband than a wife. Nobody can be meaner to a wife than a husband, a significant other. No, because you're not afraid. Well, he's not going to dump me. We got 4 kids, but you're more candid. Now, sometimes your candor gets you in trouble with your old lady. Oh, don't touch me. So then the guys don't want to do that because they don't want it. Then they won't get the willy wet. Is that a miserable way to live your fucking life? Yes. So you stay with your old fucking hag year after year after year. Then empty nest syndrome hits. The kids leave, and then you see the separations. And sometimes they don't. And the guys get caught cheating. They should have left the old hag 20 years ago, or she should have left him 20 years. But you continue staying with the old hag, don't you? Your old lady. The same old fucking bitch. The same old crack. And that's why we're fucked. Caveman, you kill the old bitch, and you go and find a new younger one. I was born 40,000 years too late, since I don't mind killing people anyway. It's a miracle I didn't fuck myself to death. Honey, give it to me, honey. How many times I heard that? Fuck. As many as I got gray hairs on my head. I'm the only one that doesn't give a shit. Of course, I built my legacy on fuck, cunt, shit, vagina. I don't give a fuck. I still don't give a fuck. Do you understand? The things that are so important to you don't mean shit to me. In my world, you wouldn't have lived past 15 where I came from. Nobody in this room. Because this program is built for the 0.00001% of the 7.5 billion people on the planet. Unlike most of you aren't going to listen. And I already know who's not going to listen. That's the tragedy of this program. I know who's going to succeed in this room, or who the probabilities are, based on the test results. And you saw your own test results. If you don't watch the movies, or you don't turn in your homework, you're out of the program as soon as I find out about it. I'm going to say it real slow. I don't care if you have if the women are having their fucking periods and they're bleeding down the inside of their fucking leg. I don't give a shit. And even though intellectually, QLA is an easy fucking program, it's a hard motherfucker. The more I tighten up the seminar, the more they want to come and the more they fail. Occasionally I'm wrong. Once a seminar, I'm wrong. So you're hoping that you're the one that I'm wrong about. Odds aren't in your favor, though. What does it matter? I know it can be done working. I know it can be done as a student. Although you're going to get it done quicker if you had no other outside responsibilities. You'd also do it quicker if you didn't have a family. And hindsight's 20/20. If he was standing here, he would tell you, and he's told me when I was there for the board meeting, that if I wasn't working, that's a big if I wasn't. If I coulda, shoulda, woulda, he could have done it in a few weeks, the whole fucking process. And now, with Captain America, who's done it in 117 days, while serving active duty military, being fucking deployed, did it in 117 days. Now you heard this fat bitch, this fucking tub of shit, past her prime, arguably. You've already manufactured why she can do it and you can't. You've already come up with a reason. Just as you've come up with a reason why Josh can do it and you can't. I don't know how you can come up with a reason why. I mean, it's beyond. If I thought a million years why you could come up with a reason that Josh, a 17, 18-year-old fucking kid, albino fucking Korean gook, can, I don't know I don't know what reason, possibly, but we get emails all the time. Well, I'm not even going to ask, because some moron's going to raise their hand and say, oh yeah, I can think of a reason why Josh can do it and I can't. Now, I'm afraid when you listen to the little black Hitler, what you're going to ask. Fortunately, it's a film, so you can't ask him any questions. The bad part about the live is you ask stupid questions. But I mean, Black Hitler, they fucking, God almighty, the questions they asked him is unbelievable. And when I put on your report, asked and answered, I used to put asked and answered asshole, but I stopped doing that. My lawyer suggested to me, Dan, when you go to court, and the judge is not going to understand when you say asked and answered asshole. They'll understand asshole. So I dropped, even I do, I dropped the asshole part off. But implicit when I say asked and answered, it means asshole. So the guys that have known me a lot of years say this is just a manifestation of Dan's OCD, compulsive disorder, and having a proclivity, meaning a love of pissing off people and still getting in my way. I will neither confirm nor deny that, but then I'll say, again, how does your program work out? Or how has YouTube's program worked out? Take one and pass it around, please. Don't get too close to the camera. We don't want the YouTubers to see it. Now, I don't know anybody out there that's given sample quality of earnings reports. I don't know any of the boys. I'm being sarcastic now. I know for a fact they're not. Most of the guys wouldn't know a quality of earnings report if it bit them in the dick. The bottom line equates to you approximately $1 million. Now that's not rich to me, but okay. But what other program have you got that made you $1 million? None. And this is not a turnaround model. We are not finding businesses that are underperforming to turn them around. I'm going to say it again. We're not looking for businesses that are underperforming to turn them around. We're buying revenues no worse than flat. No worse than flat. A bank is not interested in a turnaround situation without an equity infusion. A commercial bank is not interested in a turnaround situation unless there's an equity infusion. That equity infusion is coming from you. For this program, this model requires no money. And whether you do it or not, I don't give a fuck. Whether you do it doesn't mean you're going to succeed. Because you're willy-nilly, because you're indecisive. For those of you that have changed your mind, come up here and either add your name or take your fucking name off. So when I'm standing there announcing in front of YouTube, not that I don't mind embarrassing myself or anything, and John Jones, and you're not even there because you're hiding in the bathroom or some shit. John Jones, where's John Jones? Oh, he's hiding, no, he's in the bathroom. That's how you've lived your fucking life. So if you're gonna duke it out, put your fucking name down here. If you don't, take your fucking name off. So I don't chase you around like a cunt. Now, speaking of cunts, I told you yesterday, you didn't do the fucking homework, or you didn't watch the movies, etc. You were out, right? Did anybody not understand that? I meant it. I don't care if you've seen the cocksucking movie 50 fucking times. You didn't look at it like you looked at it last night. This isn't a fucking joke to me. You represent potential numbers on my big board. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck if you die today. That's all you represent to me is a fucking number. Everybody in this room should have died at childbirth. Only difference between you and the fucking morons on YouTube is you're here. Most of you wasted 20 grand. This is a joke, this slide. To say that you weren't programmed for success is a fucking understatement of Quran, biblical, and everything, all kind of proportion. Just pisses me off, as you can tell. And I'm not the guy that you want to piss off. Not in this fucking seminar. You still got 4.5 days to go. I can make this unbearable. Everybody will quit. We have intergalactic truth. We've got intercontinental truth. We have national truth. And we got our motherfucking truth. Most people would have given up trying to change the personal development industry like I have in the last 26 years. Because I grossly underestimated that you had no self-esteem. My alligator mouth bit up more than my hummingbird ass can take. I mean, I grossly underestimated this shit. The challenge is you're going to pick people that you feel comfortable with, which is wrong. This program teaches you to be comfortable being uncomfortable 100% of the time. And nobody likes failure. Reframing from default is a motherfucker. It's just hard. Why? Why? You tell me why. Because the people that are really, God, you have been around such low performers all your life. You don't get it. They're not worried about the money. Rich people, they don't worry about that shit like that. They don't worry that they work 30 minutes overtime. They don't worry about taking days off. Only your poor fucking family, grunt cocksuckers that have no money care. Do you think Elon Musk worries about his overtime? Guys, I'm just telling you. You're so far off base with these fucking questions, you have no idea. Josh Kim said 95% of all the shit I worried about didn't happen in 3 years. That's including questions. Your questions are based and pivot off your own insecurities. How much am I gonna make on this deal? You're thinking, well, if I give this guy 2 and this guy 3 and this guy 2, that's 2 or 4, 7, that's 7% less that I have. And that's 7% closer to my 50.1%, they're gonna cut my head off. That's what your subconscious is telling you. You wouldn't know Savage if it bit you in the ass. If I'm considered weak by a lot of the big hitters, where are you on the fucking scale, guys and gals? Where are you on the motherfucking scale? If they consider me a weak person, you're not even on the fucking scale. All of them are vindictive, myself included. If you think, God almighty, they're all vindictive. I'm not saying, and I'm not preaching that this is right. I'm just telling you that's what it is. And for you not to be prepared for that, you're fucking stupid. And you're gonna fail. Because you don't have the same preparation as these other cocksuckers do. They will eat you and see, down deep inside, you know they're gonna eat you alive. That's why you haven't competed. What does that tell you? Let's start with Steve Jobs, one of the premier assholes of all time. I think it was fucking genius. He was a fucking genius. Oh, fuck. Oh, Mr. Jobs didn't have any fucking lifetime buddies. He didn't fucking chill. And contrary to what the YouTube fucker said, although he was aware of Buddhism and that stuff in his young life, he didn't get serious about religion until they said he was gonna fucking die. Then he got holier than shit, as you do. This is the only quasi-religious thing I say. Whoever put us here to be all we can be, not a fraction thereof. She's motivated. It's clear to see she's motivated, isn't it? There's no question in anybody's mind, is it? Now, most of you wouldn't even move across the street. So who's committed more? And that's another thing that differentiates high-performance people. We get it quicker. We don't have to ultimately figure it out. Because ultimately figuring it out, spreadsheeting it, is procrastination. Now, success leaves clues, kids. In any way, shape, or manner, or form, do any of those guys relate to you? No. Does anybody have to even ask? Any? No. So what leads you to believe that you're going to be like a fucking caterpillar that's going to appear like a fucking... What are you smoking? Give me some of that shit. And for those of you that think it's funny, we'll see how you turn out. Rich people are concerned about a return of their investment, not a return on their investment. Now listen to that. They want to get their fucking money back. They don't give a fuck if there's any interest on it. I've never heard any of the big fucking hitters, high-ticket closers that I have the privilege of knowing that it said, I got a 8% ROI. I've never heard the words ROI, return on investment, come out of their fucking lips in 50 years in business. Never. And it separates the gals from the girls and the men from the boys, and it really has. The student council runs the University of Pennsylvania. Kids. That's fucking ass backwards. There's something not right there. Which even surprised me, and I'm not easily surprised. But for most universities now, the kids pretty much run them. How is that possible? They dictate who are the professors. They dictate who gets tenure. They dictate the papers and the shit that's published. Unbelievable. Why you would listen to a 19, 20, or 21-year-old who doesn't know shit? Their argument, and there's a lot of truth in that, the older generations fucked it all up. It depends on what you define as fucked up. I'm part of the generation of the 80s that ripped the belly out of the world, and I'm proud of it. I took a knife and gutted the financial world and filled my pockets. Praise Allah. 13-year-old making 100 grand a month. Did everybody just understand what I said? 13 years old. Other than jacking off, for those of you that were in puberty, guys, you weren't doing shit when you were 13. Now, how is it that can happen? They act privileged. They walk around differently. They walk around with their nose in the air. You have more going today than they did when they first came to me. But they listened. You should be embarrassed that a 17, 18-year-old is a multimillionaire. You should be embarrassed. You should. But see, you have no shame because you have no standards. That's the difference. You should be fucking ashamed when I show you these kids today and tomorrow. But you got no standards. And nobody in the personal development bullshit puts you on the line, makes you accountable because they want to sell you something else. If 13, 14, 15-year-old kids can do this, why the fuck are you asking these questions? Why? Because you got no huevos. That's why. The 13-year-old assets, we'll just buy the fucker. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Jesus Christ, what the fuck do I have to show? I got to speak at Dan Locke's Big Hitter, black tie, gala, for big fucking hitters, which I enjoyed the shit out of. But I had a handshake deal with Suharto of Indonesia, one of the most ruthless butchers that, has come down the pike in the last 50 years. I hear all this bad, I know he did awful things. It's like having a handshake deal with Hitler, but he did all these, but to me, he never did any of those things. Whereas I had a deal with the fucking Vatican that fucked me left, right, and center, metaphorically speaking, because of the deal that we had, or the deal that I thought we had, that the Vatican reneged on. I was in partnership with the Vatican Bank. And that's why I want you to practice. Because from the chairman, when you get down to the motivated sellers, you ought to roll over them like a fucking Sherman tank. Don't worry about liability. Who's gonna come and sue your fat blonde ass? Nothing. There's no liability. I've never had an accountant or a law firm come after one of the kids in 26 years. Never. First of all, it'd be embarrassing. I've never been sued in 49 and a half years for that liability. I've been sued for plenty of other things, but not that. You're worrying about shit that doesn't happen. You don't need any fucking security. You think you need a security clearance to do business in Malaysia? What are you smoking? Cold calling motherfucker. If you knew who was behind Bitcoin when it comes out, and it's gonna come out someday, it's not some little Jap fucker coder in a cave in fucking Yokohama. Okay, when it comes out, Bitcoin's going to zero. Zero when it comes out. That it's just a big fucking scam. Warren Buffett, Bill, none of the guys are in Bitcoin. For a reason. In Mayfair, which is the Beverly Hills exclusive area of London real estate, has gone down in value 5 quarters in a row, but nobody talks about it. 5 quarters in a row, because they're afraid if they talk about it and print it, it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy. We'll have a run. Commercial real estate in New York City, Manhattan, just experienced its 6th quarter in a row down. CNN not talking about it. Fox News isn't talking about it. The New York Times isn't talking about it. So we're going to look back 3 years from now and probably find out the top of the market has already happened. By the time the little mooch that's got $106,000 in the stock market finds out, it's already worth 40. So you're already dead. And so the people that say the stock market is a loser's game, they're right. We do not follow Robert's rules. Write that down. We are not following Robert's rules. Robert's rule is the Bible. It's the Quran of board meetings. Otherwise, you're going to have 5-day board meetings. I mean, it takes too long. You never ask for a vote at a board meeting, Dan, that you don't know how they're going to vote. You never ask for a vote that you don't know what the results are going to be. So you've got 10 people on the board. You want to know every fucking vote. So the best way to do that is a couple days before the board meeting, you go and you meet with every board member. So he was prepared, but that's following the QLA step by step. We've had guys thrown out at the board meetings. At the board meeting. Your board met the night before for dinner and decided to cut your fucking head off. Again, you're the weakest fucking link. You're the only thing that can go wrong in this deal is you. Just as who's responsible for you not being here earlier? You. Who's responsible for you being poor? You. But, well, the only thing that can go wrong in the board meeting is you, anchor chairperson, for them to stand up, and protect you, basically. They get more percentage. They get like up to 10% of the equity of the deal. And that 10% not only is to do proper corporate governance, etc., it's to protect your ass. Well, I tell you, don't have board meetings unless you got something to talk about. Because the only thing to talk about other than deals is throwing you out. That's a slight exaggeration, but not much of one. Because when you're sitting around the table there, guys and gals, and they all look around, well, who's bringing what to this deal? They can't, as far as we get, you're bringing nothing. And sometimes they actually say that. And there's nothing in your scripts or templates to respond to that other than you're all fired. That's it. No conversation. You don't try to convince them. No bullshit. You're fired. Fold up your little briefcase and you'll hear from my lawyers. You get your little hiney out of there. Because under pressure, some of you guys will agree to anything, just hoping that they don't take it from you. And I've seen it. Because none of you are Jocko Wacko. You think you're Jocko Wacko, but you're not. That's why you watch this fucking program. God bless you, Jocko. And because I've spent New Year's Eve in a bank. I've spent Christmas Eve. I've spent Christmas Day in a fucking bank. So them being closed are only closed for mooches, bums, meatheads like you. I've closed deals on fucking New Year's Eve. I've been accused of backdating shit that we closed at 3 o'clock in the morning New Year's Day, which is, I will neither confirm nor deny. I don't care what it seems to you. Every single board member is going to want to have a meeting immediately. That's a given, 100%, because that's the norm. That's conventional wisdom. They want to, I love this, they want to discuss strategy. As Lou Gessner, who turned around IBM 25 years ago, said in an infamous press conference, the last fucking thing is IBM needs is a new fucking strategy. And if IBM doesn't need a new fucking strategy, you don't need a new fucking strategy. You don't need any strategy. And at least, for those of you that make it, at least a third of you, a third, will have a board meeting against the QLA rules because you don't know how to say no. Steve Jobs used to say no 1,000 times. I say no, K-N-O-W, when to say no. And when you're at this stage of your career, always say no. If you never said yes in your life, you're better off. Costa Grazos, the CEO, told me many times, he says, Mr. Peña, let's not argue about kicking up the cake until we bake the fucker. Because what are you going to talk about? And I'm telling you, maybe 2/3 of you, by the looks on your fucking stupid faces, are going to have board meetings and half of those will get thrown out. Guys, goddamn, fuck. And you don't pay for them to come to the board meeting. And you don't put them up in a hotel. And you don't buy their fucking meals and you don't give them expenses. If any of you ask me that in a weekly report, just resign. People will lie on QuickBooks because any number you put in there. But not many people will lie about their tax returns. And so that's why when they say we haven't filed tax for 5 years next. You're doing all the financial hunting for money. You're doing 95% of your time is for money and deals. The other guys are overseen for corporate governance purposes. They're there to govern, you're there to lead. YouTube, this is the special sauce I gave him. The 4-pump secret beyond 33rd degree Mason handshake.
Yes, it goes something like this. Oh, fuck it.
Boom, 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 boom!
Cheers.
Cheers!
Guys, I want you to go out there and rip their head off and shit down their neck. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Go out and make me proud. Make me proud. Very good. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye-bye now. By the way, YouTube, stop complaining that I don't have more viewers. Only half the people that view me on YouTube are subscribed to my YouTube channel. So the other half, subscribe. And tell your fucking meathead morons, vagina snowflake cunt friends. Good night. We'll see you in the morning.